Hello and welcome to this side of YouTube. My name is Nikki and today I will be doing some character designs, I guess. I don't know. Alrighty, so for this video I will be drawing Vince or Vincent and LDW. Vincent comes in a bit later. He's like 1/100th of the length of this video, so don't even worry about it. It's mostly LDW, and if you want to know a bit more about them, you can watch my Florida Man video to get to know a little bit more about them, or don't. I really don't care. Do whatever you want. You can go into this blind. Yeah. So for those of y'all who don't know, Vince and LDW are characters of my upcoming comic. Yeah, so newsflash, the main reason why I made this video was to talk about my comic without feeling bad because I go off topic from what I'm originally talking about. So this is like a comic talk about whatever I want kind of video, and it's less about like the drawing because I don't really finish it. It kind of ends up in like a nice sketchy sort of thing with like colors kind of. Yeah, I didn't really feel like finishing it quite yet, and I didn't have the energy or motivation, so I was like, let's try something new. So unlike my usual speed paints, which are like one and done in a full video, this will just be like a nice process of just watching me draw, and then you don't get to see the end of it. I don't know. And yeah, basically a design session. As I said before, this is about my new webcomic since I won't shut up about it. And you know, for this video I was like kind of fine with spoiling the designs for LDW and Vincent because content, you know, it's good content. If you noticed, my Clip Studio setup has changed a bit. When I was making the comic, you know, efficiency is king and you don't want to spend ages on pages. Man, I am a poet. Wow, Shakespeare. Who? What was I saying? Oh yeah, while I was drawing, I found myself, usually what I'd have is that I'd have, you know, the layer with like the preview and like the with the oh my gosh, I literally cannot speak today. Pardon me. You know the column with the layer view and with the layers and with the colors and stuff? That's usually on the right, while my brush presets and like all my tools are on the left. So while I was working on my comic, I'd be going from left to right, left to right, left to right, like switching between layers and tools, and it took up so much of my time. So I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm just gonna put them all on one side, and that's what I did. It's mundane, but I felt so smart when I did it. Y'all have no idea. IQ. My IQ is massive. Can you tell that it's been a while since I've done a voiceover, since I'm just talking, you know, once I start going I just don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. So one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video was kind of about my upload schedule, kind of not, because this whole year since 2021 started, I have not been using my planner, you know, since 2016, 2015, since way long ago, I've always used a planner, and that's been my lifeline for as long as I can remember. Honestly, I've lived and died by my planner, and since 2021 started and being like online and everything, I just haven't been keeping up with it, and I've been so unorganized and I just miss so many deadlines, and I don't know why I do this to myself. And it's like a bullet journal planner, so I have to like make all the spreads myself, which you know, I opted in for that since I was like, I want this to be customizable. I want to have my YouTube stuff, my school stuff, and my comic stuff on there. So I chose that pathway, but now I am too lazy to like make all the pages. So with like my comic stuff and my school stuff, I'm just it's not good. But big capital B, I started well, I can't say I really started. I've used this app called Notion. It's an app slash program, and it's like really useful. For all of y'all who don't know, I recommend Notion for like planning your stuff and doing stuff and organizing stuff. I don't know how to pitch it, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat, and it's free for like individual accounts, and I've started using that to like organize all of my comic stuff and my life stuff and my YouTube stuff, and hopefully I'll get better at like keeping up with it so that I'm not a mess anymore. And I don't know, I'm still seeing how that works out. And organization, man, organization. This is like a podcast, man. I love this, and I can just talk about whatever I want, man. Organization, it's really hard for me. Not just in my day-to-day life. My day-to-day life, I feel like there's not a lot going on, so much so that I need to like stress about like, oh, I'm gonna miss this deadline and that deadline and yada yada yada. No, but it's more of my comic work and my file management. So I've been using like Google Docs and Google Drive to pretty much keep my stuff in order, and it's so messy. It's disgusting, y'all. I'm not lying to you. So I have my, oh man, what do I have? I have a file on concepts that I need to design, and I have like the first idea outline for the comic, and then I have, man, what do I have? I have the first outline and then the first script. No, I don't think I did a script back then, but I have a lot of these miscellaneous documents, and then I decided that I don't want that anymore. So then I made another folder inside of the folder that has like all of my stuff, and then that has like the refined outline and script. But then after like waiting months to start the comic, I was like, oh, these look terrible, and I made another file of the new outline and script. But then now I'm like, I need to refine this, so I'm making a new folder and files for the new outline and script for my comic, and it's a mess, you know. I'm just over here trying to just find my files and start working on a comic, but I have to dig through so much, and that's kind of why I like Notion, since it just really helps me not do that, maybe keep my stuff in check. So yeah, I'm still working on that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, about this video. I was talking about my upload schedule. I think I was talking about my upload schedule, but I wanted to make this video after like the first upload of my comic, but then I got impatient, of course, so we're here today. So I have another video idea for the series launch, which is hopefully going to be more fun than this, and maybe include some of like real-time talking and explanations and thought processes, and it's not going to be long and rambly like this one, so look forward to that. And yeah, so how is this comic going? It's gone pretty good, not gonna lie, it's going pretty good. And I'm currently at the fourth, I think it's the fourth, I'm at the fourth episode, and I finished the first three. Yeah, I did finish the first three. I'm trying to remember here. It's all muddled up, honestly. I like sometimes skip between pages and stuff. So yeah, I'm at the fourth batch of episodes. What am I saying? So what I'm trying to say here is that what I do is that I usually work on batches. Here, let me give you a general outline. Did you hear that? I hope you didn't hear that. My wrist is like cracking. I can just make it crack on command, and kind of embarrassing. My bones, my joints, they are in dire need. But basically my comic process is for In Your Dreamscape. Oh my gosh, did I just drop the title? Oh, did I just do it? No, I already did it on Instagram. If you followed me on Instagram, you'd know the title since like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. That's a hint, follow me on Instagram. I got a new by the way. I got a new name. It's at Qnikki. But don't get it twisted, it's not spelled the same as my YouTube title, because somebody already has that username and they have 0 posts and 0 followers, and I sent them a message asking, hey, can you please give me your username, and then they didn't respond back to me, so then now I can't use Qnikki as my IG name. But I'm not salty. So basically it's Qnikki, same as my YouTube, and then there's another I and then a Y after. It'll be on the video if I don't get lazy. So yeah, it's in the description too. And hopefully I changed my ending card to reflect that, or maybe I didn't. You never know. I'm just keeping the anticipation up. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, my general webcomic process. I'm gonna do a more in-depth video on this later, but basically the general layout is that I have my outline done. Like, the whole comic is planned from beginning to end. Everything is planned, kind of. What I do is that I'm not even gonna lie. I have the general big picture, but like medium picture and small picture, they're all blurry. Some events I have outlined to like what the characters are saying and what goes on. Like, it's basically a script, but then others I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm just like, I kind of want this to happen. How it happens, I don't know. When it happens, I don't really know that either. It will happen when it happens. So that's what's happening, but that's an outline, so it's fine. So I have the whole outline planned. So it's like I have the general gist of the story from point A to point the end done. And for my script, I really wanted to get it all done before I started working on my art or my thumbnails, but I got impatient. So my script is not completely done. I wish it was, but it's not. Scripting is probably my least favorite part of the comic making process. Now that I think about it, I thought it was coloring, but nope, it's probably script making, because I don't know. I like outlining. Outlining is one of my favorite parts, but then it's like refining that and making sure that events are cohesive and that readers can follow my story, and then the dialogue is witty. It's just a lot of work, Why can't I just leave it all in bullet points? You see? That's my problem. But I don't hate it too much, since I'm used to writing prose, like novels type stuff, so I'm not completely unused to it. It's just different, I guess it's more of the step that I'm least used to. And I script, and my scripts are let's see how do I explain this. My story is like kind of chunked off. I kind of chunk off sections, so it's like a good 5 chunks ahead of where I am drawing. So I guess maybe, I don't know, a few months. I'll say I have a few months of buffer involving the script. So I'm like pretty far ahead in my script. Outline is done, script, they're kind of ahead. And then thumbnails. Thumbnails, if you don't know what thumbnails are, they're basically like really, really rough sketches, like that tell you about the layout of the page and what type of panels you're gonna have. They're like basically stick figures that are like, yeah, it's kind of over there. This action kind of happens this way. It's like that, so that when you get to your pencils or your inks, you don't suddenly decide that, oh wait, I hate this composition and now I need to like redo it all over again. Your thumbnails help avoid that. So for my thumbnails, those roughs, they seem deceptively easy. I'm gonna tell y'all, they seem really easy to do, but they take so much time. It's probably the part of the process where I have to think the most that doesn't involve writing, since you're coming up with all these compositions and trying to make the dialogue fit in the bubbles, and then realizing that you wrote too much, and then now you have to like redo it all. Yeah, it's just a lot of thinking and finicking and trying to fit the pieces of the puzzle together and making sure it's cohesive, and it's a lot of work. And for thumbnails, I'm really not that far ahead in them, I'm gonna be honest. So what I do is that I work in batches. So I have, for example, episode 1 and episode 3. When I was starting those pages, I did all of those thumbnails. So episode 1, 2, and 3 were all thumbnailed before I even started drawing. And then episodes 4, 5, and 6 are the next batch of thumbnails. I might move it over to episode 7, but I don't know if it'll fit in the file, and I'm very lazy to increase the file size, so we never know. We'll never know, but that's how I do it. So the thumbnails will be in batches. So what I do is that once all of those thumbnails are done, I move them over to their own separate files. Like, for example, episode 1, 2, and 3 thumbnails will get put into their own files, like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and then I will sketch all of them. Now, mind you, I do a lot of sketches. I don't know if you could tell through my speed paints, but I am a person who obsessively sketches. So I have like 3 sketch layers. So what I do is I do first sketch layer for all of the pages, and then I do second sketch layer if need be for all of the pages, and then I start working individually on each page and then start refining those second sketch layers. Or maybe it'll be first sketch layer if it doesn't need a second sketch layer, if you get my drift. And then I will start line art, and then I'll color each of the pages individually, and then boom, you got a batch of pages done. And that's how I make my comic. Easy peasy, right? No. Not really, it takes a lot of time. But that's kind of my process, and I'll do a video about it sometime. You'll see it when you see it, when it happens. And yeah, so for me, I've been having a really fun time making these comics. And when I was doing The Mermaid and the Dead Man, or I guess I was under a tight schedule, so I can't really put all the fault on the comic itself. It's just that it felt much more I guess stressful in a way. And another thing that makes me like working on In Your Dreamscape a lot is the way they look in the end, like the pages. I've figured out this coloring style that I really like, and once the page is done, like all the line art is colored, all the colors are good, and I have all the effects done, I just think they look pretty, not gonna lie. I'm gonna pat my own back and say that I think I make pretty art in these comic pages, and that makes me really happy because I can just like scroll through them. I'm like, oh, the story, it's so good. I love the story, and the art, oh, it's so good. And I'm not saying I like every panel I draw, because that would be a tremendous lie, first of all. But it's the vibes, you know, it's the vibes of the whole series. It just makes me happy. It just makes me really happy. And at first, when I started working on the comic, before I like got into the whole groove, I thought I'd hate the coloring the most, but not really. Not really. It's kind of fun. And like what I mentioned in my, what video was it? In my Florida Man video, I think, about like Clip Studio Paint's like fill bucket tools. They're so good, y'all. I cannot praise them enough. And not just the fill bucket tools, like the lasso fill saved me so many times. I love that tool to the grave and back. That the lasso fill tool, and then there's this other Clip Studio Paint assets tool I got on the asset store. That was redundant, but I got it a while ago, and it's this. People who have Clip Studio Paint will know, but it's like magic, you know. It just fills in the colors without you doing anything. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really cool. It's really cool. I like it a lot, and that made my flat colors so easy. And I was wondering how I ever made a comic in Procreate. Don't get me wrong, I really did like making The Mermaid and the Dead Man in Procreate. It was really neat. I think the line art part was my favorite, since lining in Procreate is like immaculate. It's probably the best experience with line art I've ever had. But filling in flat colors in Procreate, y'all, it is so frustrating. Let me get that to you. I commend anyone who makes a full comic in Procreate. Like, you are so good at what you do. I don't know how you like make it efficient, but I respect that. But for me, I am a wimp, and I cannot deal without my Clip Studio assets. And yeah, and another thing that makes my comic process so much easier and so much more fun is the vector layers in Clip Studio Paint. And when I first got it, like Clip Studio, I didn't really care for vector layers. I'm like, no, I'm not smart enough for that. My brain is too small for that. And I didn't use them for quite a while until I watched this one video. I don't remember what it was, honestly, but it kind of opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, so you don't need to be smart to use this. You can just go. You can just take it and go. So I did that, and then my life has never been the same since. That's just been what's going on with me while making the comic. But one thing that I do not like about the way Clip Studio does their thing. Oop, is this critique about Clip Studio Paint coming from Nikki? Oh, am I dreaming? Oh. But truth be told, it's their blur tools. Like, y'all, they have Gaussian blur. You know, that's basic, you know. I love me a good Gaussian blur. But the thing is, you can't blur more than one layer. The problem you see is if I'm doing a background and I have a line art layer and like the colors which are in a folder because there are multiple layers, I have to individually blur each of them or make a copy and then merge them down, you see. And my computer cannot handle a lot. She is weak and fragile, so I gotta be conservative on my layer use. And this blur tool it's just not doing it for me. I much prefer Krita's blur tool because what it does, it makes this sort of blur mask where you can just sort of like paint in the Gaussian blur, and I think that is so neat. So neat. And like the selection for the blur tool in Clip Studio Paint isn't my favorite. It's like no me gusta mucho. But Krita's blur tool is so good. Man, it's just so good. I cannot give it enough praise. So I'm hoping they fix that or maybe improve it. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. That's my one complaint while making comics, and that's it. I mean, I probably do have more, I just don't remember them. But that's the thing that sticks out most when I am doing my comic pages. I'm like, man, this really sucks. I wish I could do blah, 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 blah better. It's the blur tool for me. And yeah, that's my experience making the comic. And I really want to post all 3 episodes. Y'all have no idea. I'm so excited. I think they look really nice, and I know like maybe like what next year I'll be looking back at this video, I'm like, Nikki, what were you thinking? Are you delusional? Those look awful. But for what my skill level is right now, I think they just look pretty and I like them, and I really want to post them, but I must build up a buffer. And for those of y'all who don't know, a buffer is like, it's the extra, like you post an episode, but secretly you're working like 2 episodes ahead, so that way if something comes up, you can still post according to your schedule and still be safe even if you didn't get to work on it. And I wanted to have a buffer of 5 episodes, and since I'm planning to post either every other week or every week, that'd give me at least like a good month of buffer. But I'm getting impatient. I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting real impatient, and I just want to go. So right now my buffer is being decreased to 3 episodes. So I'm going to be living a bit on the edge, and I'm still trying to figure out how many episodes I can do in a week or 2 weeks that will not make me lose my mind. So I'm still trying to pace myself. But if I have a 2-week schedule, like uploading every other week, then I feel like I could do it pretty decently while still building up a buffer, and then I could switch out later on to like a weekly schedule if I build enough of a big buffer. But that's a problem for future me to decide, you know, after I actually post it, then I can decide about my schedule. Yeah, so moving on. One of the things that I've like been really like kind of worried, not really worried, but just like it's been in the back of my head, is like how I'll market this comic. Like first I got YouTube, and then I have Instagram, but Instagram, you know how Instagram is, you know how the algorithm is. It's just so hard to get a reach unless you're like really lucky, or I don't know, you use Reels, and I don't know how long Reels are gonna be relevant for. So I want to find a way to market my comic to maybe get more eyes on it. And I've been researching and stuff. I've been looking at other people's Webtoon videos and what they recommend, and it's just so overwhelming. It's like, I want to do all of this to make my comic be more seen by other people, but man, it's so much work. It's so much work, and I'm only one person, and I want to have fun and read comics and watch YouTube videos and not have to deal with responsibilities, but it must be done. So that's the dilemma I'm going through. And I mean, I'm gonna do the best I can to market it, because I work too hard for me to sabotage myself and not get as good of a viewing as I could. And yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, I think I've said most of what I wanted to say. Like, I've gotten it all out. Now I can like live for another like month or so without having to yell about my comic every day. So yeah, that's good. We'll have to see it. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get better at like this YouTube thing. And Yeah, I've been keeping up on recording videos. It's just the audio, man. Voiceovers, they take a lot out of me and they take a lot to edit. So yeah. And yeah, I'm just saving up on footage so that can go up whenever I want. It's just, I'm so picky, you know. For a person who like needs footage, I'm just way too picky. And sometimes I'll record something and I'm like, no, I don't like how this looks. This is not a good art piece to represent myself on YouTube or something like that. And then I'll not post it. Like for this video, I was planning on posting it. That was why I recorded it in the first place. But then like a few days ago, I was like, do I really want to use this? It could be better. And can I even use this for the thumbnail? You know, stuff like that. But here we are. You're listening to it, so it obviously got out. So yeah, I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent here. I mean, when am I not going off on a tangent? But a little bit of an update on Moon Meets Mars is that I am going to be kind of redoing it, like a rewrite-ish. And I know you're all like, come on, Nikki, you only have like 2 or 3 whole updates up and now you're rewriting it. And yes I am, because in the beginning I went in with no plan, and I said that in the video that it's gonna be a series that I like and that is just gonna include all my favorite tropes, and that is true. It still does, and I like the original version, but I wanna plot it out a bit more. Like I want to have a middle and a beginning, because I had a really vague idea of what I wanted it to be when I started, and now I'm kind of like getting more and more attached to the characters, and I'm like, man, I want to give y'all a good story, so rewrite time. So yeah, and I'll be posting the rewrites on my Instagram. Maybe I might not, I might get lazy, who knows, but I'm posting it on Tapas, because you know Tapas has a novel section, and I wanted to try out posting on there and get my work out there. And I want to post it on Wattpad, maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe, if I can. I haven't used Wattpad since I was tiny, maybe 2011, 2013, I don't remember, but it's been a hot minute, so I have no idea what's going on the site right now, so who knows what's gonna happen. So I'm planning on posting on Tapas, on Wattpad. Where else was I planning on posting? I don't remember, but and Instagram too, maybe. But those are the no on Honey, wait, what was it called? Honey Feed, Honey Anime, I don't know. It's this website I used to look at a lot for like anime recommendations, and then they posted their own like light novel section, and I've been a beta writer on there, and I've only posted 1 work, and it's so old and embarrassing, so I'm gonna post it on there as well. I'll leave the links once it's done and up, and I'll probably make an update video on that. But that's my Moon Meets Mars update, if anybody cared. If nobody cared, then that's fine. I just wanted to talk about it. I'm literally just talking for the sake of talking. I'm just talking about my characters and my webcomic. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. And yeah, I've just been really excited about the story, because I've discovered so many things about the characters ever since like my last update. Since I was like kind of losing steam, I'm like, where am I going with this? I'm so lost. I don't even know what I'm doing. Why do people even exist in the first place? Why did I write these characters? But now I'm like enlightened or something. I don't really know. But it's just been fun getting to know the characters better, and I want to give them what they deserve, because they're great. They're very cool. Very cool. And yeah, I think that's all. I hope you enjoyed. Oh man, I talk so much. But I hope you enjoyed watching me draw and design LDW, and you will get no context as to what I'm designing or drawing, but just roll with it. And Vincent, I mentioned his sort of plushy form that he has been banished to in my Vincent creation YouTube video, I think. I don't know, there's a video where I drew Vincent and I said, oh, he has like a form like a plushie, like a mascot character, and now you get to see what that looks like. So good for you. I hope you like it. He's still the worst, but he's just cuter. Yeah, I should stop talking. This is gonna be really painful to edit. But I hope you enjoyed listening, watching, whatever you did. And yeah, if you drew anything, please let me know. I like to know that there are people like me who draw while listening to other people speak. It's really comforting. Man, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, share it with your neighbor, share with that weird guy down the street, and yeah, stay safe. And I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Ciao.